Hi, this is Travis from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this clip on the Political Voices Network.
This is how I would believe that my mom must be up there. So I've never been upgraded in my entire life. Never. I don't know how it happens. And so I'm back in my little middle seat and coach. My mom literally died the night before. I'm on a 7:30 flight.
Right.
And the flight attendant comes and says, "You've been upgraded." And I just, I had like 3 hours of sleep in like a week. I just looked at her and I started crying and I was like, "What? I don't understand." I said, I didn't apply. Do I have to pay the difference? And she was like, "No." And then I just burst into tears and I said, "My mom just died." And she started crying and the lady next to me started crying. And she said, "Can I hug you?" And I was like, "Yes." And she brought me up and put me next to this amazing lady named Molly, who I will say it's the first time I've drank at 7:30 in the morning, but we did have champagne for my mom. And the first warm meal I'd had in several
And I had a
days.
shot of vodka for her.
Thank you. But it just can't be an accident. This woman named Molly, she and her sister went through her mother's death, but she battled brain cancer for 10 years.
Wow.
And, it's probably my mom's way of saying, "Here, have a glass of champagne, shut up." I lived to 100. We went through 2 horrible weeks, but this poor woman, 10 years, and it just, I don't know. Anyway, if anyone would know my personal comedy, Jesus, John Fugelsang, will know what happens
Hi.
in the
Good morning,
afterlife.
Steph.
Hi,
It's nice
Jeff.
to see you guys. Thank you for doing this special show for your mom. I know your mom's story means so much to so many of your listeners. And it's just really great that you're giving this time to everyone to go through this with you and to tell you how much they love you and to tell you how much they love her and to thank her for delivering you to us.
Yeah, John, I thought of you so much because I know that you did the show so much, by ISDN from Asheville. Where you've been through this times 10, right, with both your parents.
Yeah. My mom, when my mom was no longer able to drive anymore or care for herself, she moved from Florida to Asheville to be near my brother who lives there. So I spent so much time. I made over 50 trips there in a little over 3 years. Just every 3 weeks, I'd be going down. The good folks at the old 88 The Revolution would let me patch into your show and to do my show all the time from their studios. And I guess I always associate you and your mom every time I'm in Asheville with how I went there for my very, very, very long hospice. And what I love is I love how much you love your mother. I love that your devotion to her is a testament to the love with which she raised you. I love that your mother knew how devoted her kids were to her and how much they loved her. And whenever this happens and the person finally leaves us after a long, long, lingering hospice time, there's 2 things that I always remember. One is that they're gone now, but so is their disease. The illness is over. The dread is gone. The dread of having no control over this, the dread of not being able to help, the dread of not knowing when, the dread of wondering what else I could do.
Exactly.
That dies too. And your grief and your love can be pure without all that worry. And you can just be so grateful and loving to whoever's left us. But I also always believe, and I believe this in your case, that just because someone that close leaves us doesn't mean the relationship ends.
Right.
And I know that your relationship with your mom will continue to grow and evolve and take on new forms. And you will continue to view her, and your opinion of her will change and will evolve over time. And you're going to find you're loving her in different ways than you even imagine right now as the time goes by.
Do you remember?
So I'm just proud to know you. I'm proud to thank your mother, and I'm proud to be part of the many, many, many people who love your relationship with her and have benefited from your mother's goodness.
Remember, she came to Asheville Sexy Liberal. Do you remember?
I do, of course I do.
And watched our filthy, filthy teabagging demonstration. My mother did that for
It meant
me.
so much to me to destroy that much of what she had tried to build up, Steph. It really did. To be part of letting your mother down made me feel close to you.
I remember Hal saying, "I love your mother. She's a little handsy."
But she smelled really nice.
But John, I wanted to, before you go, and I appreciate you taking time this morning, is just, my sister and I, my mom was not religious, and neither are we. We're, I guess, agnostic, but we had, as I say, the slumber party from hell, just talking about all of those questions, like what we believe, and, is religion just something that just makes you feel better, that comforts you? It's something you want to believe, I want to believe desperately she's with my dad now, and I think I do, but I don't know if that's just, you know, something that you want to believe so desperately. Like, I don't know, you have such a beautiful take on faith and on religion. What are your thoughts
Well,
about it?
the nice thing is, and it comforts me every day, that spirituality doesn't necessarily have anything to do with religion. And when you're thinking about yourself and the creator, whatever the creator is, it doesn't have anything to do with these men in funny hats and dresses being mean to marginalized peoples. I know a lot of good religious people. I'm here because of religious people, but we all have a different spiritual life. We just kind of get it chased away because of how negative religion can be. Even atheists and agnostics can have a spiritual life. It doesn't mean you believe in a big Caucasian God with a beard.
Yeah.
But there's something my father said to me shortly before he died that is sort of how I view. People always ask, "What do you believe?" You know, because I talk about God and Jesus and the Bible all day, and I was raised by people who promised I would never be born, and then they broke their promise, and I was born. So I have more guilt than any Catholic could ever hope for. I'm literally not. My parents promised God I would never happen. You want to talk guilt? I'm here. But before
my dad was deeply Catholic, by the way, and I'll never forget like a really long sermon once. At the end of it, he just said really loud, "Oh, thank God," instead of, you're supposed to say thanks be to God, but he was just glad that it was over. So we all have moments.
Mine was the same. But before my dad left, he said to me something that I want to just say to you that I never forgot, and this is what my book is about. My father said to me, there's two things God can't do. He can't stop loving you, and he can't stop forgiving you. Yeah. And that is all the religion I've needed. And I haven't been back to church since my parents left.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, my mom never went to church. After my dad died 40 years ago, we always joked that she was faking religion for him, but better than faking orgasms, right?
A lot of people fake religion for many, many decades. It's no sin there. And I have been back to church, but only for Spanish language masses because they're next to my kid's school, and I kind of like that. But, you know, it just feel what you feel. And I do believe in a God, but I don't believe that this God is a penis-bearing man with a beard who's got temper issues and throws down lightning bolts from the sky. I think God is non-binary. I think God isn't bothered with gender, and I think God is there when you need it, or her, or him, or it. But it's just the big thing we're all part of. Yeah. And your mother got to come here and be a part of this life for a very brief amount of time. And we all got to be alive at the same time as her. You got to know her. And the gift of the years you had with her is going to continue to just make your life better. My time with my parents still makes my life better.
Yeah. And thank you for adding a joke to my mother's tribute show. I think the word penis cannot be said too much on a show that honors my...
Honestly, I want to put in something for the young people, Stephanie. I want to keep them in mind.
Thank you, John. Thank you for keeping it edgy.
You're most welcome.
All right. I love you, John Fugelsang. There it is, my first drink of the day, Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Many of you know my story. I stopped drinking wine for 3 years during COVID, during the lockdown as part of a health reset. Now I drink wine in moderation, but this is an amazing new product. I've always believed in probiotics. And Z-Biotics, check this out. You drink just one of these. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. I am using this and I feel great in the morning. I don't have to worry if I have an extra glass of wine, I still feel great in the morning. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. I've always had acid reflux problems. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Z-Biotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. All I know is it works. It is Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Go to zbiotics.com/politicalvoices or scan the QR code on the screen right now.